And welcome back to North of the Broad. Bennett Schiller has joined us once again. As you know, he is a partner with the Schiller Hamilton law firm. And today we're talking about boat safety. It's good to see you. You look very boaty today.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it's that time of year. So
Yes.
if you've not been on the water out here in Beaufort, it gets kind of crazy. So
Right, and we've got a lot of points to talk about, very important, serious points, because we don't want anyone to get hurt, get injured,
correct.
whatever. So first of all, you have to have a plan, right?
That's correct. So, the thing about having a plan is know where you're going, let someone else know where you're going in case there's especially if you're going offshore, let someone know where you're going to be going. It makes it a lot easier for rescue teams to find you if something were to go wrong. So the first thing I would say is have a plan.
Okay.
Know where you're going. If you're going over to Defusky, let someone know you're headed over to Defusky.
All right,
So,
and then with that plan, or to expand on that plan, is a checklist.
absolutely.
And you've got some very specific things you want to share with folks.
Sure, and most people know these things. This is really just a reminder, but the first thing you want to do is check the weather. Know what it's going to do in the afternoon, know what it's going to do after you get out on the water, be prepared for weather changes because this time of year it does change. And obviously the tide. One of the biggest things that people say around here, it's not whether you're going to get stuck on some sandbar or oyster rake.
When?
It's when. A buddy of mine just got stuck the other day and he was out there for 9 hours. He got stuck on a outgoing tide. So it was a pretty bad situation. He was out there until almost 2 o'clock in the morning. So you want to your checklist should include several things. One is make sure you have all your proper equipment.
Right.
There's these little guides that you can get.
I love this.
Yeah, that gives you all the information that you need, what you need on your boat. Make sure all of it's working.
Yeah, Boater's Guide to the federal requirements for recreational boats. Right. It's got everything.
Everything you need, and you can get that in any boating store. I would recommend everybody reading that. But you want to make sure that you have enough fuel, batteries are charged up, that your lights are working, because if you were to get stuck and end up having to come back at night, you want to make sure that your lights are working. And here's another one. Provisions. Make sure you have plenty of provisions. So if you were to get stuck or find yourself stranded, that you have enough water, those types of things. It's
life jackets.
Life jackets are very important.
So let me ask you about life jackets. When you're on a boat, should you always wear a life jacket? No.
Well, if you're under the age of 12, you have to have a life jacket on.
You have to have it on?
Yeah, and if you're not a swimmer, then yes, you should have your life jacket on. But you need to know where they are. You need to be able to get to them quickly. After a certain size boat, you need to have throwables and wearables. But all that's in there. We don't have really enough time to go through those things. But I would say make a checklist. Other things like make sure the plug's in, little things like that. But yeah, make a checklist.
So now we're going to talk about the rules of not of the road, but of the water, Bennett.
Yeah, so, obviously there are rules. And a lot of people don't know what those rules are. Like who has the right of way, for instance. Any boat that's approaching from your right has the right of way. Usually give the right of way to the larger vessel. They're not as maneuverable. But when you're passing one another, you should always pass port side, just like you would on a highway or roadway. If you're overtaking, you should sound some type of alarm, your horn, and overtake. Typically, on the left or on the port side, it'd be your starboard side, the boat that you're overtaking. But common sense really applies. Slow it down. Stay aware of what's going on. Always be aware of the other guy and assume the other guy's going to do something stupid. And if you assume that, you're probably going to be right.
I think that's critical, whether it's on the water or on the road. You have to be careful, but you always need to be aware of what's around you in the water or on the road.
Right, and obviously, not being impaired while you're operating a boat, but watching what's going on around you and being aware of what's going on around you is very important. And always assume the other boater's going to do something wrong. And be prepared for that.
And if you are in an accident, you need to report it.
Absolutely. All accidents must be reported. And if you get injured because of someone's wrongdoing, you have that report to fall back on if you need to make a claim. And if someone's been injured in a boating accident, they should call a lawyer, especially, Schiller and Hamilton.
Schiller and Hamilton. And we do have about 30 seconds left. What are the kinds of accidents that you
Well, we see a lot of boat ramp accidents, a lot of bad things. And it's usually property damage. The tide and wind can be tough.
Yeah.
And we see boats hit other boats. I've bumped other boats by accident. The tide will get you, the wind will get you, but usually we see property damage where another boat's been injured or damaged, and we have people that get thrown off of a boat because somebody crashes into a dock. People trying to catch a cleat can smash their hands. I mean, there can be, some pretty serious injuries.
Right.
But go slow, be patient, and watch out for others. I mean, that's you only want to approach a dock as fast as you are prepared to hit it. Neutral's your friend.
Right.
Just keep
take
it slow.
Easy. Take it easy.
Slow down. Take a deep breath.
And be prepared.
Be prepared.
All
Absolutely.
Right. The Boy Scout the Boy Scout motto. And this again is a great. We'll put this up on the screen. This is a great pamphlet. Thank you, Bennett Schiller. As always, great tips.
Well,
good topic.
Love being here.
Yeah, thank you so much. And we'll be right back with more North of the Broad. Don't go away.